our little companion. And he's wandering. He's doing his own thing right now, actually. And I can click on him. I can push E, and he becomes mine. And now he follows me around. He's my buddy. And oh, look, there's a zombie. Where's my little buddy over here? Look, look, dog. No, you want the deer. Okay, well, sorry, zombie. He wants the deer. And he's going to chase that deer. I can try to help him. Whatever. We have companion AI. There. Okay, so where to get started? I think we should probably do a few different things. Now, looking at what it is to bring in companions, the first thing we would need is all of our current AI are based off of the player, just the player. So that needs to change. And I've already kind of gone in here and played a bit, but I will show you what I did. And it's pretty simple. Is on their brain, right? We originally had where we do a distance check and all that fun stuff. So I brought these in instead. I got rid of the distance. So we go from a game object is null. It's not null. I'm doing a get overlap sphere. And I'm looking for a layer mask player and a next frame event. The next frame just goes back here where we do our weight. I resize it and we try again. But if this overlap sphere picks something up, then we run through our array. We do a loop. And we loop through, and in the loop, we do then we do the angle check, and we do the obstacle check. Now, one thing to key note here is in the array I called it target for the variable. So make sure you have these like we're getting angle to the target, right? The site look at is looking at target, not the player. And then we're comparing the target to the hit object. Beyond that, like the rest of it, I said you just gotta make sure we have the variables set right. I don't know why I did that, but beyond that, like really, it's almost the same. It's just we're adding in an overlap sphere other than that distance check, and that's because if we have multiple things that they can attack now, we can't just run off of the AI being looking just for the player, right? And as you can see, if I bring a zombie in and stick him here, he should work just the same. Well, okay, his angle's wrong. I gotta get over here. So once he can see me, now he's coming after me. All right, so it works just the same. Oh yeah, I don't have my hurt, or one of my hurt animations. I ended up deleting it by accident. Whoops. But yeah, so he's, right, and I did the same thing with the deer. Actually, I didn't do it with the rabbit. So there's that. There's just a small update on those AI so that they're capable of seeing what we have when we have multiple units, the player and a companion. Now, one of the other things is on all of the AI, I have placed a capsule collider, or a box collider in some cases. Oh, apparently I haven't done it for the rabbit yet. But for the deer I did. The deer and the zombie. And they're on layer character, right? So then what I did is go into our physics. And I took that character layer off of everything. So this, we can now get a reference to it, but it's not going to collide and not going to interfere with anything. It's just there because as this guy looks, and it'll be the same thing for our companion AI, right? But this guy here needs a collider, and I didn't want to run off of the bones and stuff. So what do we need in the ways of our dog or wolf or whatever you want? There's a lot of different things that could happen. So here I got a folder ready, and we need our dog itself, which is under Malbers. And here is our dog. Taking off root motion. I don't need animate physics on either. Unprefab him. And we'll call him dog. And I'm going to put his layer on AI for change children, and then I'm just going to put it back to player. It's going to be on the player layer. Tameable. And then the other thing is on the tag, I'm going to give him a new tag. It's going to be called companion. And he's actually going to be passive aggressive, and you can tame him. Thought that might be kind of a neat little thing. So when we look at the dog, most of the AI in reality, where the hell is my zombie? There's my zombie. I should put him over. I should, well, whatever. I should make his own folder. Root motion. Take off root motion. Oh, or no, was I using root motion on these things? I don't think I was. I'm going to duplicate his animator component though, because it's just an easier way to set it up. And let's call him dog, or apparently doe because I hit enter too quick. But hey, can't hold that against me. Well, you can, but you'd be an a-hole. So there's dog. So dog needs obviously some components. So I'm going to grab zombie, and I am going to copy health, because dog's going to run the exact same health system as everybody else, and he needs a nav mesh. So let's put that over here, and he probably doesn't need that. Let's give him a bit of speed, a little more distance. And what else does he need? He's going to need a brain, the actions, population remove. What else? He'll need an attack. He's going to be able to attack, whether it's us or an enemy. And he'll need actions. And he'll need the brain. I think that is it. Oh, and then the other thing he'll need is, well, a site object, which, I mean, I could just give him a site object. Make sure it is, not sitting on the floor. That's not going to help him very much. But he'll need, just like everybody else, they have, these health for the limbs, right? I'm not going to bother looking through them all. I'm just going to paste it there. Just blanket everything. Don't do that. It's not a good way. Go through and find your colliders, stick them with the colliders. You don't need a bunch of empty FSMs doing nothing. But it's fast and due for the tutorial. What else does the dog need? The dog needs a box collider, and let's just make that fit a little better. I'm going to make it actually a little taller, and I'm doing that for a certain reason. I'll tell you why in 2 seconds. And let's move this out like that. It might have to be even faster, because if you look at, like, see the zombie sight, how it's sitting there, and I could probably move it down, but that's going to be important, because if you look at how they see in the ways of sight, they run that ray cast, and I keep it vertical so that we're not shooting down, because that just causes issues. But that also means that collider wise, for sight, needs to be high enough that it gets hit by that. Right, so even if you do that, like I said, this collider, we've deactivated everything on the physics matrix, so it's not going to do anything other than just recognize sight. So don't worry about that. So the other thing, let's get rid of him now. So we have a dog, and he needs, okay, his animator. He's not a zombie, so he doesn't need multiple walks. And this one here we don't need. So we have that. We don't need a style. The rest of that's fine. So like I said, the style we don't need. That's a zombie specific thing. So let's give him some animations. And let's go over here and let's give him bite left, bite right, a die, and a take damage from the front. Somewhere like that. He has an idle and a move. I wonder if I should almost do a blend tree for him. Might almost be a little better, I think. These don't have any conditions, do they? No. Okay, so let's just do a blend tree. So from the attacks need to come back, and of course taking damage needs to come back. Blend tree. Oh, we do have a speed variable. So we'll use speed, and I'm just going to add a few motions in here. We will do fox run, fox idle, and we'll say a fox walk. There we go. And now let's set these speeds a little more realistically. Let's go 4 and 1. Okay, so let's add an FSM and just get the animations out of the way. Let's do get agent velocity, and we just want the magnitude, call it M. Set animator float, speed to M every frame. We'll dampen it a fair bit, probably even more than that, 0.35, sure. Right now, I mean, technically just as that as is, I mean, he should act like more or less how the zombie does, right? Only we can't see him because of that stupid thing. So let's make sure that this part here, we'll put him on default. The magic we don't need. Get rid of that sheet. All right. So he's going to wander around now. He's kind of doing what the zombies do. Cool, cool. So we have that. Now we want, I'm going to make another FSM. We're going to call this companion. So we have that. And what else do we want? Oh, so the attack, right? This whole thing. We need to make sure you go into here under your attacks. Grab your 2 attacks and do the same thing we did with the zombie. Mark that spot and give it send event attack on both the ones, right? Send event attack. And that part shall work. Health. One of the things I think I'm going to add here is get event sent by. So let's move that up to the top. Was hit by. So now if we get hit by something, we know what hit us and we can react to that. All right, so now we're going to go over to so we have here. Oh, okay, first let's go into here. So if we're a companion, let's have a bool, and we'll say is companion, and we'll have a game object. We'll say my master. Could also have like maybe a difficulty for taming or something in there as well. I don't know. So what else do we need? Let's see. So we're going to get player. We don't need this. This is the style. And we don't have that on the dog. Make sure we have the player is fine. I mean, that's no biggie. I mean, we should have a player for playing the game. So with the dog, though, there's a little bit of a difference because he's going to be passive aggressive. So I want him to wander, and you can walk up to him, and he should just leave you alone. If you say attack him, we want him to attack back, right? So how do we do that? And of course, if he's a companion, totally different story. So we have a player, so we're not null. So let's not run site. Instead, let's just run a get FSM game object from the health. Was hit by, we were hit by this target is null. Right, so if target is not null, okay, we'll say we've seen something. So more or less, something hit us. Let's look around. Actually, we don't even need to look around. I mean, really, if something hit us, we're just going to run straight at it, aren't we? So really, we could just go like that. Skip all this. Say, you know what, something hit us, we're going to go after it. Now, we have, oh, he has his sight. I need to fix those up. So the other thing is, if he can see player and ground, we also want him to now see character. And same thing on here. Layer mask, player isn't needed. He'll just need to see character. And those are the sights. Stuff those in there. And of course, same idea. He needs to be able to see character. Right, but anyways, yeah, so if he took damage, we're just going to run to whatever hit us. Plain and simple, right? And we're looking at this target, whatever hit us, right? So that's what we're actually using here as well. So that actually works just fine. And then we do our compare, we do our cycle. If we're returning back to normal, and we can't see anything, we want to make sure to set FSM game object. In our health, what was hit by, and I'm just going to use a null. New variable called null and not fill it with anything. And this can actually go over here. And we restart the whole process. All right, and this part here we'll use after. So there we have now, if he takes damage, he's going to attack whatever hit him. Pretty much, that's about how that goes. Now, with that said, if... Oh, yeah, we need to put those on every frame. Now, the other thing that we will need is another bool test. FSM bool test. Because if we are a companion, we have become a companion, this is true. Right? It's a little different now, because now if we're a companion, now we want to check our site. Right, so we'll make sure to get this stuff and do this companion check at the end, but now with that you could add another block here to see, like maybe the player can tell him if he's passive or aggressive or something, and you could run another bool test here and just return back if he's passive. Okay, so that's good for now. This guy sees, he's looking for characters, H does his checks, everything is good. Okay. So brain-wise, we have some stuff. That's not the right thing. I meant action-wise. So we have has target, attack or wander. So we have wander, that's fine. He can wander. All right. Sample position is moving. See, now we don't want to use those though, right? Because we don't have that on this guy. We're just using speed. So set agent maximum speed. So if we're wandering, how fast we want to go, and 1's fine. We'll use 1. So we get our position, steering target, get a direction. And all this stuff here is fine. Well, we don't want that there. Copy and paste this over here. And let's go 0. So if we're going to have an idle. And we have an attack. And if we attack, paste this here. Let's set to 4. We don't need is moving anymore. We want to, if we're tacking something, I suppose we should go to our brain, get our target, set all our destinations, move just kind of how the zombie had it. Not going to set that there. The random attack values is fine. We look at, something weird there. Oh no, never mind. That's fine. And then he comes back and does his attack. Okay, so far so good. But what about taming? Well, if we tame him, we're going to have another path, at least one, probably several. I'll just do the one for today, I think. I want the tutorial to go for half a day long kind of idea. So the other thing we have is, and I'll get we'll do an FSM bool test. Actually, you know what, we want to put it over here. So if we're going to wander, then do an FSM bool test. What? No, over here. So are we a companion? So if true, then we are, and if false, then we're going to do let's wander. So let's wander and companion. Now that also means we're going to need this if we're wandering, because if we're wandering and we get this event happen to us, then we want to react to it, right? So we don't need that, but we do need every frame, and we do need companion. And sample, so we also need it here. Companion. Pretty sure. And, oh, maybe we didn't need it there, but we'll need it here for sure. And companion. There we go. So now if we become a companion and we're anywhere in our wander state, we're just going to stop our wander and do the companion stuff. So what is companion stuff? And I built an action, and I will attach it. I'll put it a link. I created a GitHub, so I'll put the action in the GitHub so you can just download it. You don't have to worry about it. But it's called Choose Master Side, which sounds kind of funny, I know. Transform point. We need 2 of those. So what we're doing is I'm going to say, all right, we have, okay, we can get FSM game object. So if we're a companion, that means we also have our master. So there is our master. And if we're a master, then, well, if we have a master, we can, from our master, we can transform, we'll say 2.5. So the right side of the master, and we'll say master right, and again, but with the master on the master left, which is -2.5. And this will just help so that we're not stuck on one side. I'm going to put those every frame. So if we as a player are moving and the dog is following us, we'll have the dog say sit or follow us on our, say, our right side. But if we turn, do say a 180, I don't want the dog to run over trying to get back over to our right side. He might as well stay on the left side. It's closer to him, and that's what this action does. It says, okay, we have two vectors, the left and the right, and it compares the owner of this action, so use owner, the distance to each of those spots, and whichever one is closer, it puts it in this result. And now that we have that, we can set agent destination to that result. Now I have an every frame, you don't have an every frame unless you've already modified it before. So let's just look at that real quick. It's a pretty simple alteration. Is I added this bool, so we have a public bool every frame, and then now we have, we don't care about that, we don't care about that. I have it here in the on enter, if every frame, so if we're saying yes, we want every frame, and we're on the in enter to return, so more or less stop this logic, don't run this thing at all. Now on the update, we kind of do the opposite. We say if every frame, then do that same destination that this guy was wanting to do up here, which is how we get our stuff. And then I say else, I guess technically it's else if. They're not on the same line, they should be. Well, I guess they don't have to be. Just looks messier that way, I suppose. Else if, and this was added, right? Like this wasn't here, so I added this little part. This was already here, right? So more or less, if we're running every frame, do this, else do what was originally here. And this is the same. So pretty light on the changes there. Nothing too crazy. All right, so now that we have, if this AI is, if his companion is true, he has a master, he won't wander. He'll still do his attacks, but he won't wander. He's going to follow the player, right? So we need to do some changes here. So let's get this every frame. And this will be, so if we lose the master, if this is null, then we're going to go back and do our wander. Because we no longer have a master. Right, so that's one thing. It's a way to come back out of it, so we can become tamed and untamed or whatever. And what else? The other thing we'll need is to set an agent's maximum speed. So we could have this flexible to go with the player. I think 4 will do fine though. Right? So now, technically, right, he wants to wander. Let's come out of there. And if I actually pause it and I go to his companion FSM. There's not much here. And I flick this to true, and I put the player in this slot. By all rights, he should come running back to us. He's not, because apparently I messed something up, but he should. So let's see what's happening here. We're doing our wait cycle. And his sight is working, right? Because he's coming up here. And we're checking to see if we've been hit. Right? Because this is true, so it is coming up here. And we're looking for characters. So that part's good. So let's see what's happening in the action. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, no, I do have set destination here. Alright, so let's... Oh, or maybe I just didn't wait long enough, I suppose. Alright, so now he's following the player now, though. Or he should. Oh yeah, see, there he goes. Holy crap, like mouse is all over the map here. Right, so yeah, little dog's following along. He's just gonna do what we want him to do. Okay, so that part's working then. Cool. How do we get him though? What the hell's up with that, right? And when we have him, will he actually attack? First, let's look at getting him. So maybe on our player, we can put it into the shoot, but maybe I'll do a FSM tame or something. So let's do get key down. Maybe I'll use E. And let's try to tame. So I think what we will do is, I lost my canvas. I could have sworn I had a canvas, and I must have deleted it when I was playing around with stuff, but whatever. It's not hard to... I just want to make a target cursor, so it's a little easier for me to click on various things. Okay, you can just use that little knob. There we go. No, let's use the knob. And let's just shrink it down. Let's go 0.25. Maybe give it some transparency. Alright, so now that we have that, let's have it so if we hit E, we'll raycast. Use raycast 2. And we're going to raycast from the camera forward, self, maybe a distance of 5. So we have hit and no hit, and the hit object, and we need a mask. We only want to be able to hit I guess player. Hopefully that doesn't mess up and hit myself. If not, we will have to think of something. So if there's no hit, we go back. If there's a hit, go here. Let's make sure we're not going to hit ourselves. Where's the player? All right, let's uncheck that. Check it back on E. All right. All right, so that'll work. I don't think it's going to hit us. If so, I mean, there's other things we can do, but whatever. So if it hits us, or if we hit something, what do we want to do? Let's do FSM bool test to start off with. And if our target we hit companion is false, might as well put 2 of them in there. So he already is a companion, so let's just go back to the beginning. But if he's not, what do we want to do? Well, let's set FSM bool. Or you can run sliders and timers and chances too. There's all sorts of things we could do here. Maybe in the future, if there's a lot of interest in it anyways for the companions, I could always do a deep dive on this style and show a lot of the different behaviors that could be used. So set FSM bool on the dog, well, I guess on the dog, on the hit object to true. And we also want to set FSM game object also on the dog. In the companion, master is ourselves. And that is it. That goes back here. Now, where's the issue come in there? So if will work, so if, oh, we got to do the hit object there too, or that's going to cause issues. So if it's false, before we do this, we're going to want to do one more thing, right? We want to get what are we thinking here? That's got to be the hit object too. So we would want to, in our, where are we? So we would need our own variable. Our pet. That's what we're thinking. Is null. So if our new variable that we just made is null, it will work. Just go and do it. But if we already have a pet, we could either skip and just go back to the beginning, or maybe we want to swap pets. And if you want to swap pets, then we can more or less do this same thing. Up here we also need set game object with our pet is now the hit object, right? So but down here we would have, we're going to set this guy up, and we could also do this part. But before we do this part we need these again, paste before that, only now we're going to use our pet, right? And this is now going to be false, and this one's going to be a null, and then our pet is now hit object. Now we've cleared and freed our current pet, and we've taken a new pet on. So now I can go over. We can go over and I can hit E. Oh. And now he's following us. Pretty simple. Let's see if he will attack a deer or something. I don't know if he will. So let's make sure, let's see him do stuff for us now. In his brain. Oh no, he's here. Okay. So in his brain he has, let's stick a zombie or something out that he could potentially attack. Let's go over to our dog and let's stick this zombie out right there. Yes, okay, I totally get it. You weren't placed on a nav mesh. Right now. So our dog has a sight range of 20. And he is now over here. He has seen the zombie, right? That's why he's over here. Zombie clones. He sees him. He has a target. Life is good. So that's working. So in the actions, of course, we're following. And we have if we lose our master, but what about if we want to fight? Right? So we need this. Copy, paste, and we need to attack. And again, this might depend if we have a passive, if you tell your dog to be passive or something. And if we attack, we're going to go to our brain, get our target, and life is good. So, like I said, if I stick a zombie out here now, and we take the dog, now the dog's ours, he's going to run out and he's going to attack. Poor zombie with no, nope, and he's able to kill. Now, obviously, when that happens, on death, we should be changing layers or something, right? Because if he goes to a layer of dead, which I don't have, so I'll just call it fog for now. Our little puppy here should, at this point in time, right? Because he fades, he goes up here. It says attack. He has a target, and tries to get a target, and the target's not there. So what do we have up here in our brain? So we're here. Sight goes forward. We keep vertical. Ground player character. You know, in reality, he doesn't need player. Oh, yes, he will, because he will attack the player. All right, so we look at here he has target. he's saying can see target. There is no target there. No hit event. Well, I guess if there's no hit event, I guess that's when we could come down here, I suppose. So here, like I said, you'd have to change layers on the zombies and stuff. You could also do is null here as well. But whatever. Okay. So the other thing we're going to want is we have a is hit by. So let's test that. Let's see if we can hit our dog. Let's shoot our own dog. All right. And no, we haven't done the logic actually for that at all. All right, because the dog has limbs. He's companion on player layer. So let's check that out. So if we shoot, we do our little thing. Hit object tag. Hit object tag compared to meat, we harvest. If we compare it to limb, we send damage. So send damage, we do all this fun stuff. So our dog, obviously, well, he's not tagged, so we need to tag that. He needs to tag limb. Pretty simple fix. Right, so now the dog can attack us. And we could kill the dog. And we can also harvest the dog. We should be able to. Maybe we can't, I don't know. But, you know, we can kill him anyways. That's the important part. I don't know if you want to harvest the dog anyways. So that part all works. There's some obviously some stuff we want to do though, right? Like we want let's do a is null in our companion thing. So my master, if it's not null, let's check stuff. And by checking stuff, all we want to do is get distance to our master, and we're going to store it as distance. And over here, check is null. Let's do that. Paste. No master. Now we always know the distance to our master, right? Because now from here, if we are chasing something, like, or we're in our memory here. No, not here. Is it here? Yeah, I think it is here. So here, if let's see, let's branch it right here. Right, so okay, we do our weight, we come up here, let's do FSM bool test. Companion is companion. Do we have a companion in here? Companion and not companion. So if we are not companion and if we are companion. So if we're not companion, just keep going. Don't mind us. But if we're a companion, let's FSM float. I don't have it, so I thought I had an FSM float compare, but apparently I don't have it, so we'll just get FSM float and then compare it. Same thing, just 2 actions instead of 1. So companion, distance to player. If, say, oh, I did an int compare, whoops. Float compare. Float compare. If the float distance to player is, say, greater than 30, I don't know, return to master. Else, true, whatever. I don't know if that makes much sense, but if we're okay, so if we're going to return to master, so now at least if he's fighting and you leave or whatever the case may be, he is just going to say, screw it, I'm running back, I've gone too far. So what does he need to do? He needs to do this same stuff, and he needs to do this same stuff. Only now it's not 30. Now let's call it, 5. And if it's, we don't need the equal or the greater. So if we're less than 5, we have reached the master, or roughly close of the master. So file, save. So we go over, bring the puppy in. Apparently it's not working. Come on. What's going on there? Bring that up. So we didn't hit, Jesus, where'd the dog go? Oh my God, I wasn't looking and now I've lost my dog. Oh, I think, no, I don't know if that was him or not. Alright, let's check that again. Something weird about that. So if we hit it, and I got him that time, I know I seen it. I seen it. We set the value, we give him a player, and we set our thing, so we have a dog. Companion wise, he has a distance to the player. He is companionized. In his brain of brains, he is doing his weight and he's doing his checks, looking for enemies, which is what he's supposed to be doing, so that's good. And in our actions, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, because I never did every frame on that stupid thing. Lord, 100. How could I forget such a simple little thing, huh? I don't know. And I friended him. He instantly decided to go fight a zombie, so I'll help him. I'll kill the zombie for him. Of course, zombie needs to change layers or something, so we'll... Now, if I get too far, he should just come running, right? over there. That part we gotta fix. Oh, he is over here. Alright, so he's there. Action-wise, he's here. He doesn't have a way out of here. Has target is false. If false, let's wander. Okay, so why aren't you... Has target is true. He does have a target. He's doing angle checks, but he doesn't have a target. AI action. Has target is false. It's less than attack. So this is where things have messed up. Smooth look at player. Right, because there is no player. He's trying to move there. This thing's messed up. It's everything. It's killing everything below it. So what we need to do with that? Let's get this every frame, and let's do a is null. And make sure to stick this way up here before we call that. So if the player is null, now let's wander. Well, and I guess by let's wander, let's go up here, not over there. Because if we're a companion, we're going to want to come back down over here. So that's if null. The other thing would be I think that would be it. I don't know, let's check. Let's go full screen. Let's see this crap in full screen here. So we've picked up our dog. Oh, we have a glitch. So the dog, let's see if he's stuck now. In his action, it turned off. Why? Okay. So he was, I don't know if he's seen that flash or whatever. So on the dog, it was saying let's wander, and he comes up here and checks has target. And then instantly comes here, but that's one frame. which was causing us issues, because if that gets called and it hasn't cleared in that one frame, it goes ballistic. And that's what happens. So I'm just going to put a next frame event right there. That will prevent that. And if this guy's finished, we'll do the same thing up there. Might as well utilize it. Alright. So let's go find a little zombie. So he kills him. Now, like I said, we got to fix that part. But when the zombie disappears, he should come running back to us. And he's not wanting to do that. Because he's stuck in that loop. So he's thinking he has a target. And if we go over to the brain, oh, I guess it just took them some time to realize that. I think that's that cycle thing. I think that's in here somewhere. That's messing that up. So we set he has a target. Goes up. He is a companion. We check our distance. We're still good. So we look at, we raycast, and we try to hit ground player character. And we hit one of those, and we check if our target is the hit object. And if we can see, if we can't see, we do our cycle. See, and I think there's just something weird with that ray. Right? I think that's what's killing us. So I got the dog. I run over here. There's a dog. He's going to run after the zombie now. The zombie decided that he's running away or some bloody thing. God knows, whatever. So the dog is now killing. And this guy, let's check this. Because it's the, no, not that. It's this part here. It's causing us some issues. Right. Because right there, he needs to stop. And he's not stopping. He's seeing memory. He's going. He does a companion. Obviously, that's true. And he comes here, and he sees target. And that's, we look at target, we raycast, and then we hit the target. And really, that's the issue there. He's hitting that target. And we never do clear it, I don't think. Do we? So we can see it. Set value. So now we set FSN or set game object. So we need to check our hit object. Our hit object needs to go null, needs to reset. And that should help that situation. I think. Come here, dog. Go attack that zombie. Look, zombie's dead. No, he's still attacking though. So let's check that out some more. Right? So he's... Oh, that's the action. I don't care about the action. I care about the brain that's controlling the action. The hit object is null. Yeah, so they're still even then, right? Because null is still equal to null. Because now fires a raycast at zombie. Hit object is null. So let's clear that for a second. Oh my god, that's taking forever. I can't click any faster. Frame by frame. Here we are, and... Ba-doop. Okay, so we've gone over. We checked that. It says true. Distance is there. It's happy. He does the look at. He hits the zombie. Zombie is zombie. Life is good. He's happy. Alright, so it is just going to be based on this thing. So if we had another layer, we can call it dead. Something like that. Go into the zombie. You're dead. Set layer. Move to the top, and you are dead. Alright, come here, dog. Let's go find the zombie. Now he's killing a deer. No, I haven't fixed the deer yet. Where's the zombie? Why aren't you just working? Alright, go get the zombie. That's a good boy. Get him. Get him. And if I shoot him, he'll die. The dog should be like, what's going on? So let's go check our brain. Alright, because now our zombie is on layer dead. So let's clear that. Yeah, see now he didn't see him. Now he's going through his memory. It's just based on memory. You know what? You know what I think we should add to that to make it a little more faster and better? I mean, like, the memory thing works, don't get me wrong. It's great. But you know, that's fine. But what about, you know what? We could literally just do this. take the dog, go to our brain, say, all right, you know what? That's fine. You want to hit and see the dead, you can see the dead. But if you see the dead, we are going to, do we have a layer compare? Game object layer compare? Or do I have to just get layers? Okay, fine, we'll just get layers. Of the hit object, we're going to get his layer. And then we're just going to do a string compare. All right, so if it's doing it's getting the layer as an int. Okay, int compare. Fine by me. So the hit layer, if it is equal to 18, that's equal. Target is dead, leave it the hell alone. If it's less, we'll just use our true, and true if it's greater. We don't care if it's higher or lower, just as long as it's not, you know, equal to. Because if target is dead, then we can go here, or you know, we can go to this one. Either or, I guess. Now let's try that. That should solve all the issues. We hit it. He goes after the zombie. The zombie just decided to bolt off and run like a madman. So we kill him. Oh, look at that. He comes. Perfect. Our dog is working the way we want him to work now. So I think that's probably good. I don't want this to go on too long. It's already been over an hour. So like I said, I mean, if there's a lot of interest in the companion, I'll do another video based off of this one, like a part 2 almost, and do a deep dive into him, because there's a lot more like we could add, right? I mean, he's just simply following and helping attack, and we could over here, you know, as we attack or wandering during these cycles, or make another FSM to do this as well, say get the player's health, and if the health is low, like, you know, maybe we want to heal the player or something, you know, like I said, like, or you can click on, maybe you can click on the dog and tell them to be passive or aggressive, so that when we you know, and you could swap this state out and have a duplicate state here that checks passive or aggressive maybe here, and if we has target, it's just not in one of them, but it's in the other one, kind of idea, in the aggressive one, and he'll just sit there idly, kind of idea, or whatever. There's numerous ways to deal with it, but there's a lot of different things you could do with pets, right? And same with the taming. Like, I didn't really do much of a taming other than clicking on them. But I mean, you could easily add on to that if you really wanted to have like a, here, you know, he has a taming score. You can go all Pokemon shit on this, and based on his score, maybe a score you have, we're going to run a slider and run chances over a period of time, and you see a slider come up and maybe it's going to fail. I don't know. There's a pile of different things, but there's companions for you on more of a basic sense. And like I said, if there's interest, so like and subscribe, and if there's a lot of interest, by all means make a comment, and I'll see down the road after I get through some of the predator ones, AI, to do a deeper dive into companions and how far we can push companions, because there is a lot we can do with companions. So we'll see you in the next video.